But still, that could work. And then we tie it together with this guy about a Swiss hamburger chef, where the hamburger comes to life, much like in Better Off Dead. And then this one here, about a rat that can cook. I think that's Ratatouille. And then this one. And then...
It's a script.
I mean... Can we send this to Paramount?
MaJaMa. MaJaMa. MaJaMa.
Welcome back, everyone, once again to our couch. We are MaJaMa, sitting around discussing other people's work instead of doing our own. Now today, we are taking what feels like a little bit of a departure into a piece of beautiful art after weeks of god-awful garbage and crap. Just kidding. Selections are always fun, but this one feels like a little beast of a different nature. Now, we've been blessed to have our first ever movie picked up by a little company called SRS Cinema. Mr. Ron Bonk, owner and president of it, picked us up, gave us our first ever shot in getting a little toe in the movie industry. And something that we like a lot, that was a pinky, not a toe, it's very astute.
We're a bunch of helpless jackasses!
Something we like a lot about SRS Cinema is that Mr. Bonk has taken it upon himself to procure many obscure Japanese kaiju flicks and bring them for the very first time to America through SRS Cinema.
Prove it.
Prove it, Mateo. Scroll of the SRS catalog or something. He said it, not me. Oh. So very cool that SRS has been digging up all these obscure kaiju gems. And one that Mateo has had for a while that we haven't cracked open until today is Howl from the Land of Fog. Did I get that right?
No. Howl from Beyond the Fog.
Fucking idiot.
Literally repeated it over and over again before we started filming.
Howl from the Beyond the Land Before Time.
Howl from Beyond the Land Before Time, The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
The Howling.
Howl from Beyond the Fog.
That's about right.
A 2019 feature on the same label as us, SRS Cinema.
Because we made a movie.
Matthew?
Is it still playing?
No, this time I won't put it. Just make we look like idiots. Like usual.
So this one should be noted right off the bat. It's got an intriguing running length of, it was 34 minutes, but I feel like there were a decent amount of credits. Maybe we could say a solid half hour. Mm-hmm. The reason being, this one is a breathtaking work of art, passion, and craftsmanship. All handcrafted details, puppetry, guy in a monster suit, handcrafted everything in it. And because of that, it's impossible to get more of a wheelhouse than it is Matthew, who's a craftsman himself, and who has labor to try and get...
I crumpled all this paper.
He crumpled all this paper up that you're seeing, and he's
while we
labored
were
to
writing
get,
on it.
I mean, yes. It wasn't going to be a good idea anyway.
No,
just
yeah.
Preemptively wanted to destroy
Like this one is...
Just says, suck more cock. Is that you? That's probably you.
That's probably
yeah. But it's your handwriting, and there's my... I think it's my drawing.
That's a drawing of you.
Yeah.
Doing something to a bear?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah, that was my pitch for a Disney movie.
Okay.
Where you have intercourse with a bear.
Oh,
for
like
most of the 90
Leo
minutes.
DiCaprio in The Revenant.
I pitched it as a G-rated Revenant, and you guys didn't go for it.
Tasteful.
Tasteful, yes.
Hard left into comedy, and we are back.
Comedy.
So, Matthew has labored over the years to make his own shows of this nature, completely 100% handcrafted. So I'm going to turn it over to... And failing badly.
But yeah, because
Matthew made a show.
Made a show.
Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to ingest my unidentified and potentially life-threatening mystery drugs.
That looks like a makeshift crack pipe.
Of course it's a crack pipe. I could have just told you that if you'd asked politely. Now look, I just gotta burn off the harmful chemical additives like this. And then all that's left is the healthy and harmless crack smoke.
So I'm going to turn it over to my brother to give us the little bit of a synopsis and to talk about this project, which I think we were all pretty enamored with, and I'm happy we finally got around this. So Matthew,
could have given me a heads up or an email or something, text message. Just
tell us about your failures as an artist. No, tell us about this amazing project, Land from Beyond the Howl from Beyond the Fog. Jesus Christ, if I could say it right once.
Yeah, why do we keep putting the whole time I was watching? I kept putting land in there.
Yeah, me too. Howl from beyond the fog.
AA batteries, land in Montana.
Cheesecake, I think, comes first.
All right.
It's a brain candy reference.
Can I get you anything else, Chris? Grappa, wine, cappuccino, tickets to a Lakers game?
No thanks, Don.
Are you sure? What about cheesecake? AA batteries? Land in Montana?
No, thank you.
Okay, zip, Matthew.
So, Howl from Howl
from Beyond the Fog.
Howl from Beyond the Fog.
Yes.
Is a movie about AG, who is coming home after his twin brother just passed away. He goes to stay with his family and discovers that he has a cousin who his mom is keeping hidden from society and everyone because I guess they're ashamed that the mother's sister, E-I-E-I-G-I?
E-I-G-I-G-J-I?
Elemental P.
We're not very good
I was
in
going to say,
Japanese.
please excuse our mumbling white mouths as we stumble and probably butcher these names. No disrespect.
Can we just put that disclaimer scrolling across the entire bottom of the screen for the whole episode?
Mumbling white idiots throughout who will probably butcher these names.
So AG meets this cousin who is blindfolded but also blind?
Yes.
Which doesn't kind of...
It seems redundant.
It connects,
a little bit.
yes. But it's visually, it helps you. Since they probably, I guess, this is my speculation, since they couldn't actually visualize her blindness on the face of the puppet.
They couldn't realize real eyes can't see.
You guys have heard the real eyes, real eyes.
Yeah, man, shut up. That's what I was just doing, man. It was in the Armin song.
Is it an Armenian song?
He is an Armenian, yes, but his name is Armin.
Oh.
He's a rapper.
I see.
Jason did a song with him.
Oh, really?
They made out behind the scenes. Oh, wow. I guess we shouldn't put it in there.
Because we have a movie of that too.
Rappers are...
Where the...
So, pretty much she is blind.
Okay, so she's blind. Wearing...
No, he's probably right. The blindfold is probably because the eyes couldn't properly...
Reminds me of the gag from Rogue One where they put the bag over the blind guy's head when they're taking him into custody. All right.
It's like Bird Box.
It's like Bird Box with Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
Fun enough, I was thinking about that today.
Oh.
Why, I don't know, but I remember that...
Why is Matthew thinking about Bird Box with Sandra Bullock? Write your hypothesis underneath and we'll be friends forever.
That's very weird, man. I was here too when I was thinking about it.
You know, Matthew was thinking about Bird Box. I was thinking about Turd Cocks.
You always think about Turd Cocks.
It's true.
The fuck's a turd cock?
The Howl from Beyond the Fog.
Okay, so
on the track.
We're
not giving this movie the respect it deserves.
You're talking about turd cocks, man. AG follows his cousin, Takara. It's on
the back of the thing.
It's too far. Follows her into the woods.
Takara?
And she goes to a...
Takiri.
I said Takiri.
Okay.
Fucking asshole. Goes to the woods and goes to this lake and meets Nebula. Who's a giant...
blind monster.
What?
Yeah.
How you know?
It's funny because I didn't know until I read in the back, but they do make the eyes like a pure white. With
Okay, all right. Okay, almost like a Loch Ness monster mixed with like a kaiju. I love the sticks sticking out the back. Reminds me of, I forget what scene it is, but they're trying to sit on some...
It's like the barnacles that sometimes grow on top of the
Yeah,
turtles
yeah.
or
Whales
something.
or whales with
Or
those
whales, yes.
things.
There's some scene specifically I'm thinking of where they're sitting on like a piece of land or a rock or something, and then it gets up and it starts moving around like a giant tortoise.
Ah, it's Sonic.
Is it Sonic?
No.
Love and Monsters.
He hasn't seen that.
No, I have seen that.
The
What?
The Departed.
That's what it is.
It's where Jack Nicholson gets up and, oh, God, these barnacles on my back.
Is that moss growing in her face? Jesus. Okay, so she goes and she has some sort of connection with Nebula. And he's actually kind enough to let her touch his snout and connect with him. So AG says, hey, I saw you with that monster last night. Why would you let him do that to you? And then comes out the next night to go see him again. And she puts her hands over his eyes so he can't see. And then Nebula lets him pet him as well.
Yeah.
Which led to by far my favorite line in this whole thing.
この人はただここにいるだけだから。
I was happy just floating in space.
Brother, period, sync up brain. That was the exact thing it made me think of.
I was happy, floating, staring at the star.
You have
Starro.
not seen Suicide Squad, the new one.
No. Oh, dude, you got to see that. Yeah, that was the exact line. Starro's line made me think of that. It's like, I don't know, it's the typical monster thing of like, hey, it's bigger than us, we have to kill it. But just that line of, you understand, he just wants to live. I was like, oh, that hit me nice. That was...
Yeah.
Kawaii.
怖いとかは感じない。
この人はただここにいるだけだから。
So either way, some guys want to stop the monster from attacking the village.
He's ruining the... they're trying to sell the land
Yes.
that her family owns.
But there's a monster inhabiting it, so no one's going to buy it.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I think that there's rumors, like they say, the gossip is hurting our business.
Okay.
I think there's like, it's like a haunted rumor thing, like there's a monster up there, what is going on?
I mean, how
up there?
long has this been going on? No one's seen it. No one's.
Apparently.
Well, if you think about it, the opening scene is the classic
I don't really wanna think about it.
disconnected monster
Great
shot.
Great
Scene, but
if
I'm
that was
wondering.
a short.
That's what I said. If we literally stopped it after that, it would have been a perfect score for me. But I was wondering, is that scene showing that Nebula's been around for a while and this was years ago, or was that simply just like last night? You know what I mean?
I think just a monster attack.
Yeah.
Just that standard detached
Yeah.
monster attack to kick us off?
So they pull out the girl because they figure she's the key to getting him to expose himself. No.
In-
And they
in
don't
a-
want
in a
him
better way.
exposing themselves.
Okay. All right. Okay, all right.
Well, there's a shot of Keizo Murase with the tail of...
That's pretty graphic.
it looks like that he's exposing
I
himself.
think he had his dick inside that thing.
Yeah.
So
Or
either-
that, or even worse,
That was his dick. How do you get your zipper closed? I guess you don't.
This is my Benny. I feel sad
So
that we're disrespecting this tale.
we're not disrespecting it.
no.
Benny, we picked apart too many of the technical flaws without discussing the amazing writing, funny story, puppetry, cuteness, horror. Yeah, please bring him forward. Give him the
We were
goddamn
talking about you,
the respect
kind
he
sir.
deserves. So they say back in the day they used to calm monsters by giving them a sacrifice. So they kicked the blind girl in the back of the head, and throw her into the lake. And then Nebula
She's saved by
saves
Nebula.
her very cutely, holds her tenderly in his mouth, and gives her back to Eiji. And then chases after the one guy.
Yeah, he goes on a rampage, pretty much.
Starts fucking up the town.
Pretty much, it's the type of thing where, like, look, I was peaceful. You messed with my good friend. Now you guys are in for it.
He said that?
He said that. That was in the subtext.
And then they have fireworks that say "Thank you, Nebula," and it's
a he. Remember the line I said? He said he wants to live.
How did she know? Did he come out completely out of the water?
Who can tell nowadays?
Probably.
There it is.
Oh, and so then the mom,
the mom passes away because he destroys the house.
Oh, damn! They're still friends with him?
Well, he didn't know.
Still.
Yeah, but well, then again, the mom has kept.
I guess
the mom sees it as retribution for what she's done with hiding it, kind of, right?
Okay.
湖の神様が壊していった。ごめんなさい。私には家を守れなかった。
あいつを知ってたの？
姉が死んだ時、湖で。まるであの子を助けてるみたいだった。だからあれが神様だって。
Didn't she say like the lake god has gotten mad and destroyed her home?
Yes, she said that. So then it ends.
Yes, it's pretty much is a kaiju movie without any fat. It's just like is the story is essential.
You don't gotta chew too much. Kai-chu.
Kai-chu.
I thought you were making a Chow Yun Fat reference.
I think he's Chinese. Okay.
But so that's in a horrible way. That's the story.
No, you're right. It's almost as if you didn't have to have the constraints of the 90-minute storytelling. This is how you could do the crack version of a kaiju movie, like the concentrated, the bare bones. Get to the boom, 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 all the beats, nice tiny half hour of the whole.
I wouldn't say that.
No, I'm saying if you dared to, which they did because this is a self-funded project, I'm just saying no one's going to be like, hey, we're making a new Godzilla movie, it's going to be 30 minutes. But this is an example of how you could if you wanted to just cut down to just all the...
It's more of an art piece than a kaiju movie. I mean,
let's move on from the synopsis because everything that you were saying, I wanted to talk about the craftsmanship. And again, similar to other movies we've done, there's the discussion of the movie and then there's discussion of the art and craft and...
No. You pick one. That's all you get.
Because kind of like with the Hams where I'm so caught up on your personal story and like how you did it that I'm almost like, am I even judging the movie? With this one, I was so taken...
How much ham do you eat?
A lot.
I was so taken aback by the art and craftsmanship of it that it's almost like I just want to talk about that and like you guys can decide and see the movie for yourself.
Talking to us or who are you talking to?
So apparently I didn't realize this watching it, but we watched the behind the scenes. It is a classic guy in a monster suit, which I would have never
in part
ever
thought. It's a concoction of different styles of animation. There is just like a puppeted head for the close-up, let's say the hero head, which is the most detailed one. There is a probably 1/10 scale of the monster full figure that is moved with a rod, the neck. And there is actually a guy in a costume.
Still trapped to this day.
Still, yes, they didn't pull him out of the costume. And is, forgive us again, I have the cheat sheet, Tomohiro Metinuro. And we apologize.
No, that's not bad enough.
I apologize.
It's a pretty badass name.
Your Italianness makes it translate better because at least there's a...
By the way, the writer, producer, director, cinematographer, everything of this movie is Daisuke Sato. It looks like that.
Fucking crazy, Jesus.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, seriously, like when we were watching the doc.
These two guys made
maybe three
everything.
Well, all right.
With the help of Keizo Murase, who is a god in special effects. He did movies from the 60s, like the original. Up to now, which is also amazing to see the craftsmanship passing the baton, the old school passing to the new school, and which to me is absolutely fantastic, staying way away from CGI and just like
kind of going back to your roots and actually being able to work on a project
which
like
has
this.
So much more charm and sense of creativity and everything, because they built everything. So, yeah.
It's very objectively impressive.
Yes.
Question.
Yes.
Can someone define the difference between objective and subjective?
Yes. Objective is, this is an idiot. Everybody agrees.
Okay.
If I say this is an Abercrombie and Fitch model, that is my opinion, is my subjective opinion.
They always say humor's subjective because one person watches Kids in the Hall and is dying and wants to pledge allegiance, and another person's like, what?
What does the other person watch?
I mean, I don't want to meet that other person that doesn't get it, believe me.
Okay.
Objective is something that is recognized by everybody. The sky is blue.
This movie
is
objectively impressive technically. Who could watch it even if you hate it and think that these guys didn't bust their ass to do this?
Yes. La Polizia Indaga il Crimine is a masterpiece, is subjective. Although, it's a great movie.
Although,
it's not.
I wanted to discuss the movie a little because I feel like the chunk of the discussion will lean towards the craftsmanship, which, like I said, almost hopelessly far more interests me. Not to say I didn't like the movie, but one of the things that stuck out to me was there's a sense of majesty throughout. I remember when I was reading, as someone like me does, the reviews for the difference between Pacific Rim Uprising and Guillermo del Toro's original was Uprising didn't give you the same sense of majesty of the creatures as Del Toro put into his movie.
Come on! Let's do this together!
Here, I thought that the emphasis was really on the majestic nature of this creature. And when it stomps through the town, I realized that it wasn't the, brr, 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 classic. They kept it with like the peaceful...
How are you going to get a piano that big?
I was intrigued by that. Even when it was on its thing of destruction, it was kind of like presented as the mystical beast to be in awe of, more of a, you know what I mean?
Not if you're underneath its foot, but yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It never went to like the danger tones and like the fallen kaiju. It was treated as almost like
no helicopters flying through. No fire. I mean, they had the
but
guys
the tone
with
and the sound of it.
Yes.
It was treated as like this is as majestic of a moment as when you saw it emerge from the lake.
Well, plus, what year do you guys think this was?
It says on the back. I don't get the reference, but it says it's set in this town in this era. Yeah, screw it. Might as well read it. Set in Kyushu during the Meiji, again, forgive me, Meiji era. So there's a distinct timestamp which I don't understand because
tells me absolutely nothing.
Everybody knows that the Meiji era is
from 1868 to 1912.
Oh, okay. I remember
That
reading
does
about
make
that
sense.
in that
Yeah.
book.
Yes,
Because I mean, you don't see cars, you don't see TVs, you don't see laptops.
No, and
There's
you
a train.
don't see very smartly also the fact that they put it in an era like that is that you buy the village had very little people. If you put it to contemporary Tokyo or whatever modern town, you need mass of people, crowds of people. You cannot do that with this. And also, I think that by the distillation of the whole story to very few key characters, beside being a choice of craftsmanship, so you have to carve only 8 puppets.
Yeah.
It helps to focus on those characters, especially because the choice. There is no mouth movements. The puppets are still. They do talk from voice outside. So
It's like Garfield.
it's like Garfield, yes, or the Italian cartoons of Nick Carter. So they were
Backstreet Boys?
No, but it was a drawn detective by Bonvi, which was the animation was quite crude. Yes.
Chi parla? La Poldonia? Capo, c'è una certa signora Poldonia al telefono.
Sì, grosso deficiente. La Poldonia è uno stato, non una donna.
Eppure, capo, le assicuro che avevo una zia che si chiamava Elisabetta, come il Portogallo.
Come? Spie? Minestrone? Esercito in subbuglio? Vengo subito.
Can John hear Garfield?
I'm sorry? No.
No, he can't, right?
No.
Never.
Never.
Never. Not in any iteration.
For
of
some
it.
reason, he understands what he thinks, but he never actually.
But like in the special, he never responds to him. He's like, "Hey, Garfield, you want to do this? Oh, okay, I don't want to do this," and he just. Okay. Well, what I was going to say is that the whole thing feels like a dream.
Yeah, and forgive me to interrupt you. A wonderful choice is that all the past flashbacks, whatever you want to call it, they're done in a sort of a watercolor
beautifully
inserts,
done.
and they're superb. They're absolutely
a little
superb.
Shimmering like.
And it's the only moment in the movie that is actually bright colors.
Yeah.
Except for probably the last shot with there is the
valley as
the sky
nebula goes off.
Yes, when the nightmare is over, it's a little bright. But the only bright moments throughout the movies are these flashbacks, which are fantastic. Sorry.
It reminds me of the feel of.
Sorry to interrupt.
The short we watched a lot as a kid, The Snowman, which I don't know if you're familiar with.
I don't think so.
I think you really like it. It's a young boy who builds a snowman.
Beautifully haunting.
It's almost, this is the wrong word, but he'll know what I mean. It's almost creepy is the wrong word, but there's something, like I said, it's kind of like.
Very angelic, almost like it literally looks like a children's book come to life.
Well, also something weird, and again, this might sound confusing, and it's not exactly what I mean, but you might get it. My memories of watching E.T. as a kid was that I was so with it that when E.T. is pale white and sick, it upset me enough that I literally was like, I don't want to be watching this. I love E.T. I don't like that you did this. It's not even like a nice dramatic. I don't like this. I feel bad and disgusted and sad.
Like
Take it off the screen.
Dog turd.
And I know this is.
Which, by the way, since you mentioned it, who did build E.T.?
Who did build E.T.?
Who did build E.T.?
I can't think of the name. Harlow Mamaldi?
Sarlo Maldi?
Rick Baker.
It's Rick Baker. So it was.
Carlo Rambaldi, who, when asked by some journalists when E.T. was sick in the river, that he was all white, what special effects did he use to make him like that? Talcum powder! Okay, bye.
Next question.
But, so you know what I mean? That there's, and there's, I don't know if he has to say goodbye to the snowman because he melts, but I felt like there was always some sort of intensity where I'm like, this is good, and yet it almost feels, I don't know, it's very difficult to express what I mean, but...
I guess it's the kid leaving the house, flying through the sky with the snowman.
It's very effective. It's a very effective short.
It's very emotive, yes.
Emotive. So, this beautiful short, The Snowman, it reminds me of this. The whole thing
Let's do an episode on the snowman.
It's not a bad idea. Christmas episode? It's not a bad idea. I think it's about a half hour also.
No.
No?
I think it's like 15, 18 minutes.
Okay. Well, anyway, the whole thing of Howl feels like a dream. The whole thing, like I said, feels majestic even when the classic kaiju rampage is happening.
Feels like something out of a dream. Okay, never mind.
What was it?
That was Luke on Dagobah.
It's like something out of a dream. Or...
Yoda, Dagobah system.
Huh?
So
the classic line from Star Wars, I have a t-shirt.
The script got wet that day.
I thought the movie's greatest strength was how it treated Nebula with majesty throughout, and it follows nicely the kind of kaiju movie pattern, but I never got the sense that kind of Godzilla is played as, is he a threat, is he not, is he a savior, is he a destroyer, what is his role? This one, even though the village people were kind of like, you know, the classic get this monster.
The village people?
They were
in between doing their hand motions. It always felt like it was a majestic beast meant to be respected. And I really like that hand-touching scene.
Yes.
I don't know, it felt very, again, emotive. And that line, he just wants to live, killed me. Because it sums up every living thing on Earth, even if it's a fly. Like, this fly's in my house, I killed it. It's like, it just wanted to live.
Yeah. And
well, not everything wants to live.
Yeah.
Plus, they don't have the consciousness to understand what life is.
I think someone made a cartoon.
But I guess that the monster being in front of people who pretty much don't call him monster is the same thing like the Frankenstein monster when he goes to the blind man who doesn't treat him as a monster because he can't see him, and so he feels for the first time actually accepted by that, or the Elephant Man.
I am not an elephant! I am not an animal! I am a human being!
I guess that for a monster, one of the best things that could possibly happen is that the person who meet you doesn't scream and run away in fear.
Well, funnily enough, again, it's going to sound like a ha-ha, this is a joke reference, but it reminds me almost exactly one of the bright spots in an otherwise pretty dismal movie is...
Wait, we're the good guys! Get on the ground!
Right. What are those things?
They're monsters. They're monsters!
We're not monsters.
It looks pretty fucking horrifying, though.
Awful redesign of the turtles aside, which kind of half ruined me. It's, again, that's...
Donnie's goggles.
It's like
keep the rest.
It's like a shred of an actual idea in an otherwise pretty much whatever movie, but the idea that, you know, Mikey's around his brothers and people that accept him, and then he finally gets a taste of it, like, ugh, you're a freak, and he's just hurt. Like, dude, I'm a guy like you. So as much as that sounds like a comedic thing, that's what your thing reminded me of. Like, I didn't know I was a freak till I got around these humans. They were like, hey, what is that guy?
Do I remind you of a freak? Which is true, but...
今だ撃て
I thought they had some effective shots without, obviously there was no lips moving, so
Yes.
You can't do too much. But I was surprised they didn't do more as they're talking, which would look ridiculous.
Oh,
But at the
yes.
same
It's a
time,
nice
you would,
restrained choice.
yes, you would
Yes.
want more of that to kind of understand the emotion. But I think the voice acting was very good.
はじめまして、エイジです。
エイジ、ここに来ていいの？おばさん怒ると思うよ。
どうして？
私は死人だから。
Yes.
And they had enough artistic and different looking shots that kind of helped you take the focus off that, even if it was like close up of
Yes.
someone's head, someone walking, just an angle.
Yes, despite not being, there's no animation. Although, once again, which is a practice of the Asian theater, these, let's call it neutral.
Don't do it. He's talking about the facial expressions right now, right?
Yes, the masks with the neutral expression that, according to the body language or to what is said, all of a sudden that apparently featureless and faceless masks assumes the expression that the wording and the pose are conveying. There is not a moment in the movie where somebody is talking and you say, who is everybody is extremely well crafted also in that. There is a very good use of framing the characters where they are, the way that they are positioned, and
Even
how
just
they,
some gorgeous establishing shots.
Yes.
Oh, that's what. Okay,
So
that's
many
what I wanted
shots
to
where
ask.
I'm like, wait, is that an actual? Okay, no,
Yes.
that's miniature.
So
But there
everything
were-
was a miniature. Like those
There were
forest shots are
some
insane.
shots of the house when you. I mean, I don't think the house was real. I mean, big, normal sized. But there's a shot when he's AG's in the room and there's a big window in back of him, which almost looks like it was a real shot of a forest or woods or backyard or something. But I mean, from what we saw, look at almost everything was done.
Yeah, by 2 or 3 people
yeah.
tops, and not only 2 or 3 people tops, but 2 or 3 extremely talented people. I guess that there are more voice actors than actual technicians behind the camera, because they are. It looks like they are only them, and they made such an excellent
thing.
I don't want to call it short. I call it just like a movie because it's fascinating, and it's
hard to not. It feels like it's hard to not be taken aback by the craft, even if. And again, the movie's great, but even if you didn't like the final product, I feel like it's really hard not to be taken aback by how much they did.
Yes.
And then once you see the behind the scenes where it looks like a room, honestly, no bigger than this, maybe smaller, a little studio. One dude's in a suit, fucking trying to breathe, stomping in a little rubber suit. Another guy's directing it.
A lot of fucking fog.
Yeah.
Well, the howl from behind, beyond the fog.
Like I said, it kind of refreshes your brain, cleanses the artistic palette. When you see something like this, like I was saying, no one works on this the way we go to like a grocery store day job and work. Like, oh, whatever, I gotta be here, just get through it. Like, you don't get down on your knees in a foam monster suit in a tiny studio with another guy sweating trying to get the right angle if you're not obsessively passionate about it. And it's very palate cleansing to see something like this where, you know, I looked at the trailer views had like 30K. It's not, again, it's pretty good. It's not
Yeah,
bad.
what the
But like,
fuck?
All this work, and then you get like, you know, a couple nerds like us discussing it, and it just, on one hand, it's heartbreaking and you wish everyone could get more exposure for their passions, but on the other hand, like I said, every ounce of this just reeks of someone that wants to do this, that has passion to want to birth this. And I found, again, it's almost difficult to talk about the movie because I'm just so impressed by the craftsmanship here, especially watching you just like try to do your thing with a completely one-man crew in your room, just paper like this everywhere, old materials, figures chopped up into Frankenstein, other figures. No one does something like this half-heartedly, and the whole thing has a sense of magic about it, whether the story... By the way, we were talking about how some fans were disappointed by the Mockbuster cover SRS put out for the wide release, and it's a little more like the font
for the DVD.
For the DVD, sorry.
That was the same as the menu screen.
No. The font is the most offensive part because most of it's a picture of the monster, which is cool enough. The font looks like a summer like rock type movie, The Rock rather. But what I was
in defense of SRS, it says it was the retailers. It's pretty much what
it's
happened.
Business. It's business.
Rip Taylor.
Yes.
He pushed this?
It was one of his things.
His last thing before he died?
No, he was already dead. It was a very strange thing.
But
I had a vision last night. He came to me in my sleep.
The cover.
We were talking about whether Takari. The front.
Isn't it?
The front.
Takiri.
The front.
Takari's a toy company.
こんにちは。
The front quote says, with a touch of classic ghost story, when I saw it. So I was like, wait, was she dead? Was she a ghost? Didn't they say something about she passed?
Would you do that, Justin? No.
No, because it says touch of a ghost story on the blur.
The ghost is...
Is the ghost Nebula?
The ghost is the fog.
Beyond the...
Yes. Beyond the... Well, like I said, there was a few subtitles that were off, but there was the line when he first meets his cousin.
私は死人だから。
And I'm pretty sure the line was...
Not supposed to be alive.
Not supposed to be alive.
私は死人だから。
Because everyone believes she's dead, and the mother's hiding her from the world to keep the illegitimate child that her sister had with a random guy secret. So that I don't think there's a ghost, but I think maybe just the essence of a ghost story with the mythological creature.
Yes, and the atmospheric...
Fog works to great effect. I feel like it probably gave them a lot of leeway to work with to mask certain things for having the fog.
Yes.
And it's not really the same
then
thing
again,
because
there were some beautifully shot daytime scenes.
Yes.
In the house,
everything
outside,
looked amazing. It really is difficult because again, the story is effective but simplistic, and it is only about a half hour, so it's very difficult to discuss this with just not drooling over the craftsmanship. It's almost, I don't want to use the word distracting because I was with this movie, but the craftsmanship is so on display that it's almost like you watch for that as opposed to the story. Not that I wasn't with the story, but it's such a great feat of art.
And especially because we're used to see something like Kubo and the Two Strings, or...
I thought of that, but I still haven't seen it.
Or The Corpse Bride, or The Nightmare Before Christmas, which probably is one of the greatest...
or Frankenweenie.
Or Frankenweenie. So is, let's say, the stop-motion animation that we're grown accustomed to. And there is nothing wrong with that. Actually, all the movies that I mentioned are wonderful movies. This one, both for necessity and for style, has a different... actually has a puppetry. The actual movement
the walking is very well done.
And so is also great because of that. It's so unique because of that.
Also, no strings, no sticks,
no
nothing. So, however they were doing it, they did a lot of close-ups with the hand shots,
yes.
or had the puppet rods from the back. I think in the making of, there was that one of the heads of Nebula where they had a rod that goes with the controller from the back for one of the large puppets. But like you would see with the classic marionette or Thunderbirds type of shit.
Yes.
Wasn't
no
there
wires or sticks.
Is there an old Rock Hudson movie called Rods from the Back?
That's why would you go that deep?
Deep?
Is that a double meaning question?
That's okay.
Why would I go that old?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I go with like Tom Cruise?
No. Well, are there as many gay rumors about him?
I feel like him and Travolta get it a lot.
I bet they do.
Together?
Oh, anyway, it's not important. What is important is this is a gorgeous, beautiful movie.
All right, it's funny.
Thank you.
No, it's just
30 seconds later. I've assessed your joke for the past minute and a half and decided that yes, it is quite funny.
Yeah, the one about Rock Hudson or what?
The Rock Hudson joke?
Not so much Rock Hudson, but the rods from behind. I was kind of thrown off by the very, very old dated reference.
They said that Julius Caesar probably was gay. It goes back and up.
You know what would be great is a movie about the internal turmoil of a gay character named Rod, and it's called Rod from Behind. I couldn't even finish that. Oh, Jason, where do these ideas come from? All right, so
well, I guess there was Inside Amy Schumer.
You prefer the Inside Job?
I've been thinking the Italian Job. One time when I was back home, someone mentioned the Italian Job, and I said, "What is it? Making a pizza?"
What'd they say?
They laughed. I think. I hope. At least that's the way it's recorded up here. All right, look. Maybe you were right. Maybe because it was a short movie, it almost feels like we're getting to the wrap up. Or am I leaving anything out? Do we want to discuss any? There's like 50 again. There's 50
You're
million.
asking
Kind of
the
like
wrong
Il
person.
Pozzolino de Crimini de Polizia. There's about 60 million little details you could goof on. We could talk about endless craft here. So I don't know. Is there anything we're leaving out? This is a shorter one, guys.
Craft and the police investigate the crime?
I would like to mention that if you watch this and you think you'd be a fan of such, I feel like this is one of those ones where, like, if you're the audience, and if you watch the clips from this and think you would like it, you will. It's amazing. Yes. Please check it out and support it. Like we said,
seriously, watch it.
These are more than ever. These are three people that blood, sweat, and tears this thing. Please watch, support this, buy this,
half an hour. So
yeah, Jesus fucking Christ.
No, it's
you'll know if this is your wheelhouse. If you think you'll like it, you'll probably love it. It's an amazing work of art. And like I said, I think stuff like this is needed because you bust your ass for art and the result is you're an obscure, barely known thing. The stuff like this is needed for people like us with the soul of an artist who want to know it's possible. This is very inspiring to me. Like I said, I could even not like the movie, but just the amount of craft and time these guys put into it. The visuals, the puppetry, the miniature landscapes, the watercolor segment, the movement of the puppets and the dinosaurs, the use of fog, fireworks in the distance, the soundtrack, the majesty, all of it.
The soundtrack is also very good. And
no subtle.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, the only thing that probably we didn't mention, which was also absolutely fantastic, the actual howl of Nebula.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
It's wonderful.
Foghorn.
Yes.
It's so mystical and haunting.
Foghorn, no.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, that one.
Shut up!
I instantly thought of the sound in the lighthouse repeat over and over again.
Yes, but I'm thinking more so the echo of a foghorn, but I keep thinking of more the siren when there'd be like an apocalypse and everyone's got to evacuate the town. Mix those two together. Do you think the Jin Erso figure was actually used for the film or just for the test footage? Okay, so what do you guys think of, you want to throw your final scores?
Yes, let's go with a score. Who starts?
I'll go first.
Okay.
That's rare. That you volunteer.
No, oh, okay. I'm going to go with just the one.
Wow, you?
Yeah.
Man that knows how hard it is, I would have thought you would have given it. Again,
no, it was great.
I'm influenced.
Probably a little too artsy at times. And even for 30 minutes, I mean, well, I guess I'm thinking of a traditional kaiju movie, but this is a beautiful little story.
Well, fairy tale vibe.
Yeah, told in an amazing medium.
It's almost an opera.
Yeah, yes. But just aside from that, that's the only negative, which I don't know if it's negative, but I guess it's stereotypical douchey art stuff. But that's the only reason I would give it a 1.
Did you just burp in my microphone?
No, that was...
Yes.
No.
My impression of...
Please vote.
Rock Hudson. Do you want to vote? Should I vote?
Except semen will be coming up. And you have to push it back down. Yeah. With the dick.
Oh,
Rock! Come back up! Hold on! Jeff, get back in here!
Well, there are some men who just, they're very devoted to their mothers. You know, the type that likes to collect cooking recipes or exchange bits of gossip.
Ooh, what a vicious thing to say.
Oh, I hope I'm wrong, but don't you think you better make sure?
You are sick!
All right, I'm throwing nothing. Because, again, I feel like even just seeing what it took for you to make your Awesome Time specials and the amount of just material strewn along the room and how much it has to do, I'm just very genuinely impressed that they did this. And like I said, no one does this with a half-hearted attitude. You do this because you goddamn well want this movie to exist. You have a passion for it. And for someone like me, I think, like I said, it's a soul cleanser. It just resets the palate back. It makes me think you can get a couple guys together in the studio, work all night long and fucking birth something that, god damn it, even if no one sees it and that hurts. So yes, I feel it is a reset, and it's something that you need to see once in a while.
How often would you watch this, you say?
Especially when, modern movie making, and again, I always feel the need to say I do like a lot of what is trashed. There's a part of me that loves a big, dumb summer tentpole. Very much so. I think it's important to say that. But when you watch something like this, you really go, holy crap, a lot of this is made with dollars in mind, even if there's still passion. And so, yeah. I think for an artistic soul, stuff like this is needed, and this gave me the appropriate boost of, holy crap, look at these people busting their ass. So, yep, nothing thrown for old Jason. A great job all around, and once again, I encourage all of you, if you're interested, please hunt this down and watch it.
Yes, and I am also not throwing anything. I was tempted to throw half a ball.
Maybe I should have thrown half.
Because I wish it were longer.
Same thing. When it stopped, I was like, damn, can you just keep going with it?
Not that, I mean, I understand. What?
Both you guys. That's what Rock Hudson said.
I've never had any complaints before.
I want to feel it in the intestines.
Wait, did Rock Hudson ever not come out, but...
Come in?
Rock, you got to come out at some point. I don't know, there hasn't been a lot of coming out, but you know what we've been doing a lot of is coming in.
But did he ever, was it always just rumors, or did he ever give,
I don't think he ever acknowledged it. However...
There's plenty of footage.
The fact that he died of AIDS, it's a kind of like... But I remember that when they started to hear that rumor, or rather...
Rock, you got something on your...
Yes.
Oh, excuse me.
What happened was that, if memory serves...
Check the mirror before you come to set.
What happened was, one day after a shoot with Kirk Douglas, Kurt was walking funny the next day.
When they were afraid that the story would come out and he was still this handsome leading man and everything, they manufactured a scandal of another actor who took the fall.
Oh yeah, I read about that.
So it distracted from...
They said another guy was gay?
Pretty much. They
Was he
made...
at least actually gay? Or?
I don't know.
What does the article say?
I'm sorry, I was a little buzzed last night when you guys were pitching this to me. What's happening?
They made such a huge story about that anything else went away.
That is horrifying and hilarious.
Yes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
MaJaMa.
You know, I never failed to be
burn the fucking race down. Yes, I'm never fucking just...
No, not even that, dude. But yes, that's the bigger picture. I've never failed to be astounded by how awful the industry really seems to be. Because, you know, it turns into a cliche and I'm always like, is Holly... And then everything I hear about the business is just a fucking hellscape. Like, yes, apparently it really is. Is there any story of like, yeah, I made it in the business and worked with some good people who made some good movies? No, I wasn't diddled by a fucking executive for 16 years in the back bathroom of fucking Paramount.
Happy?
Happy.
It's...
Allegedly.
Alleged. Yeah.
Only talking about... Listen, the only thing that matters is that the best moment in the history of jams was when he breathed and had like that little with the laugh. Oh my god.
So yes, it's I genuinely like this movie. I genuinely like this movie, the feeling and everything. It's what movies should be, rather than having $300 million and I mean, it would be nice, but if you give $300 million a crew of 6 units and everybody working on special effects and
your leading man turns out to be a fucking homo.
I've been advised by the phone company that there's a code number for our party line. It's 793. Now, if you have any future complaints to make, I suggest you dial it and complain to me personally.
This is a very controversial episode, by the way. The fact that this was born almost in...
Stop! God, we're trying to have a serious discussion about the craftsmanship of this gorgeous Japanese short film, and Matthew was losing his shit just picturing Rock being plowed from behind. Well, nervous studio executives like, Jesus Christ, I hope no one finds out for the next...
Jesus, gotta say 20 minutes, how long is it gonna take?
Can I?
Is Rock his actual name?
No, it's Cock.
I mean, it sounds like a gay porn star, like... I'm just thinking he could be a rock by taking cock, or be a rock by giving cock. But just what makes more sense, you know, in terms of being...
That's how they pitch it to me. So who's got the name ideas, boys? Well, first let me lay it down. You could be a rock by taking cock, or a rock by giving...
Going back to the Howl from Beyond the Fog, this is the equivalent of...
What? At least it's not me this episode.
Sorry.
This is the equivalent of...
Did you vote yet?
This is the equivalent of the Apple computers. It was something that it was born in a garage by incredibly talented people. And they made a masterpiece just because they wanted to do it. And... So, amazing. I can't wait to see what they're doing next.
MaJaMa.
you know, a brief thing about the Mockbuster cover, and I'll keep this short because this could be a discussion unto itself. But like, this is such a beautiful movie, and I'm not, you know, stupid. I get the business side. I get the base level business side. Give us a cover, but it almost seems weird because it's like sometimes it seems like it really is about the bait and switch. Like, we just want to trick you and get your money. We don't care because picture someone's like, "Damn, bro, looks like another Godzilla. Smash him up," and then you put on this. And then you're like, I didn't even like what I got. So sometimes it's like, it really is all you care about is trick and get the money. Because I feel like someone, again, that cover is not that bad. But let's say you did full on like, it's a smash 'em up. Then a person buys it and they see this and they're like, this is not what I...
It's like the first trailer they put out for The Village by Shyamalan.
By the markings we find this morning on our homes, I feel they were warning us. We may question ourselves at moments such as these. Did we make the right decision to settle here?
It looked like aliens. And I remember coming out of the theater and there was a guy furious on the phone telling to his, I guess his friend, yeah, it wasn't scary at all. So it was just like a completely...
twist?
Yes, but it had nothing to do with Shyamalan, who made a movie that you may like it or not for what it is, but if
I thought it was good.
So did I. And if you are selling it...
It's all about how you go into it, what you Smoking Aces, if you guys remember.
Yeah. No, I remember. They make it seem like a...
Like, it reminds me of the new Bullet Train trailer,
Yes.
where it's like, holy shit, this is fucking action and crazy characters and guns and cars flying, this and that.
In fairness,
I think it comes down to...
It's hard. In fairness, it's hard to get fuckers to watch.
Yes, but I think
that's also what Rock Hudson said.
We'll never be able to prove this,
In
but
fairness.
Amazon rejecting bad CGI sharks the first time, and then the second time we send it as sharks, same
With
fucking
an exclamation,
movie.
it was the exclamation
Sharks,
point that did
exclamation
it.
point.
Shark,
exclamation point. They accepted it. So it's pretty much just like, you guys are just taking fucking anything you find at the bottom of a dumpster, but because we put the word bad in our title, you guys are thinking we're calling it out as opposed to tricking people into watching a piece of shit.
You think that's what... I know we have definitive
other
evidence
reason?
that's what Walmart said, but...
Dude, Amazon has...
But then why shitty zombie dead? I guess the idea is that bad CGI pulls you out of the world and says it's like they say unwatchable zombie movie.
Yes.
Even if you call it zombie prostitutes in a stupid dumb whorehouse, you still think like, oh, they're trying. Whereas unwatchable zombie movies, like, wait, you're telling me that?
Regardless of the joke, the meta aspect of it, I don't think they... I mean, they probably looked at it and, they probably took 2 seconds with it either way.
Who wants to watch a movie called Shark? I will say, I don't know if we told you this, but one of the most painful things, he's dead right about this, the perfect replacement, if we had to do a replacement name for streaming, Shark movie. Fucking perfect, gives them what they want, gives the, what, it's called that? Well, let me at least see it, click on the thing. Yeah. Anyway, this is unfair to this gorgeous movie. As much as I love a good endless episode of Rock Hudson jokes, yes, this was fucking...
Who doesn't?
This,
in 2022.
This was great. And again...
Rock Hudson is a fan.
MaJaMa.
Watch it. It's great. Salute to the filmmakers and salute to SRS for giving this a home as they did us. Thank you, SRS. And hey, guys, check out SRS's assortment of kaiju flicks. They have tons
they got
of
some
obscure...
crazy shit.
They got shit on VHS.
And they have very good movies in general.
Yes. Well, I don't go that far.